you imagine? Like,
Sadly,
if
I
dudes
could.
were like, if dudes were like drinking and all of a sudden they start puking, everybody like starts freaking out. Oh man, what if he's giving birth right now? We don't know. Like, is he just fat or is he pregnant? We don't know.
I am both.
Man, are you sure he didn't get down with Sarah the other night? We don't know.
So it's like a full-on role reversal.
It's like, but gestational period is like a week.
Oh God. Oh, that would
So
be.
how many would you have, Luigi? How many babies would you have?
I would cut out my stomach first. I would just take this little thing right here, take the smallest knife and just go ham.
Oh, no. The only way to prevent pregnancy is not to eat ass.
All right, that works. I mean, that pretty much works. It's just like, hey, I'm gonna tell you
God.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I ain't eating your ass. I ain't trying to get no babies. Like, I'm sorry.
You know my buddy Malik, obviously.
Yes.
We were on VR chat the other night, and the topic of eating ass came up, and I'm like, I don't understand how people have a thing for that. Like, I don't think it would personally feel good because, like, one, like, you're all tensed up because someone's that close to your asshole, and the entire time, I don't know about you, but I would be worried that about like getting into it and then relaxing because, like, somehow, for some reason, some fucked up reason, somehow someone's tongue on my ass feels so great that I'm relaxing enough that I would like fart in their face. Right? So now my partner has the potential of getting pink eye, or tasting the last thing I ate.
And welcome to the film show. That's the opening, guys. Season 2 opening, talking about eating ass.
But no, here's the worst part, is if you can't relax and the entire time they're having a hard time getting to your asshole because you're so tensed up, worried about a fart that may or may not happen, that all they end up doing is licking your crack. I would be so...
That would be an interesting topic. How do you properly eat ass?
Well,
I need to find somebody who like 100% be like, yo, I eat ass.
See, like,
I need to bring them on the show.
I think it was like since 2015, there have been books put out on how to eat ass. There have been guides put on YouTube, and there has been so much emphasis on eating ass, but does anyone actually enjoy eating ass? Who enjoys the taste of somebody's asshole? Like, unless you're a starving child. Even then, oh god, that just got totally fucked up.
That just got dark. What the fuck? What?
Not a starving child, but a starving person. You're a starving person. You haven't eaten food in forever. And the only thing, like, the closest that you get to eating food is eating ass. That's the only reason I could ever consider, like, a sane reason for eating ass. I'm sorry if that sounds, like, really judgy, and I don't judge people's fetishes, but I personally would rather be not enjoying the aspects of eating ass.
So why? Like, so if your husband,
yeah,
like, right after this was like, honey, I'm in the mood.
Yeah.
Right? And you're just like, okay, cool. I can always be in the mood too.
Yeah.
And he just like, listen, I'm going to eat your ass.
I'd be like, no, thank you.
Like, are you gonna give him the same reasoning
Oh, hell
that
yeah.
you just gave? And it's just gonna be one of those things like on your phone. You just like press play. It's like a voice recording. You just press play, and it's like, you know that moment when something is close to your ass and you just like tense up and shit, and then you get really loose and relaxed, and then shit just comes out.
Oh my god.
I'm scared that's going to happen to you, sweetheart. And I'm scared that you might get pink eye from it.
I mean, wouldn't you be afraid of getting pink eye?
I wouldn't go near the ass in the first place. Unless if I'm penetrating something. Like, I am not going to put my face near anyone's ass.
I mean, it also depends on the situation. Like, when people talk about eating ass, are they really eating ass, or are they like sucking dick or like going down? You know, it's like, and it depends on the angle that in which you are going, right? So, I mean, I can understand considering that as a way of eating ass, but on the other hand, like legit just going straight for the bunghole just kind of like weirds me out. Like, I don't understand how people have a thing for going straight for the bunghole. You're welcome, Luigi. I think I deaded you. And you're going to have to edit out a bunch of stuff now. You're
Nope.
welcome.
Nope, that's staying in.
Oh, you're
That's
going to
the
keep
intro.
it?
That's the intro.
My God.
Welcome to season 2, episode 1 of the TLMS Show. We started talking about eating ass.
Hey, I mean, to be fair, we never said how we were going to start this shit out. No pun intended.
My God.
And, oh, hey, husband's home. Yay.
Oh, I wish
Hi,
he was here
husband.
for the entire talk.
Oh, he brought me the popcorn. Thank you, husband.
Oh yeah.
Husband, I give you something in exchange. Spicy.
I'll give you a try onto eating my ass.
Husband, please never eat my ass. I love you.
Please never eat my. What was his facial expression for that answer that
I
you
actually
gave?
don't know, because like we exchanged bags underneath my curtain, so I can't see him and he can't see me, and I'm pretty sure he's probably like confused or like, what the fuck. He was like, what the fuck is my wife talking about? With a person on the internet.
With some weirdo on the internet.
Right? I mean, it's just gonna be one of those things. I think I'm gonna need to do a mental health check on him in a moment. Jesus. Oh, he's tapping on things. I think he's doing Morse code for our neighbors to help him.
Oh my gosh, that's
I think
great.
I might have scared off my husband. Hey man, if I get divorced, YouTube can marry me.
YouTube?
YouTube!
The fucking company. Just have a corporate entity marry me. If I could do that, then I'm marrying Twitch then.
Well, see, like if I married a corporation, you know you're gonna get fucked regardless. So and I made him done. Yes. He's gone. I think he's gone to commit Sudoku. Please don't commit Sudoku.
I need stronger stuff than this ski.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That was great.
Oh boy. Is that a good way to start on a season? Sure. Why not?
I feel like it is.
Why not? Talk about eating ass. All right. Well, welcome one and all back to the recorded version of the TLMS Show. This is still the same show that you love on Twitch, just now pre-recorded. That way we can have it on multiple different platforms for you guys, and we could also have it on YouTube for you guys to listen to while you're in your car, away, or just want to listen to us while you're doing your daily chores. if you're
Notice
eating,
he is trying not to upchuck at the thought of eating.
if you are eating within the first 10 minutes of the episode, I'm sorry.
I'm not.
Of course you're not. Because you're not eating.
I have popcorn.
That don't mean shit.
That's eating. You know?
All right.
Oh my gosh.
So, if you guys can't tell, we have Elf here today because, of course, I would have her on the show. Duh. It's a no-brainer.
No.
So, I kind of want to talk about a little bit about a project you were doing for 2019, also known to the community as the Elfin Build.
Yes.
So this build was stirred up around, maybe about May?
Yeah, around April, May-ish.
About April, May-ish.
Around the time that I met you. You were the one that, really helped spearhead that because I had no idea what the fuck I was doing.
Actually,
I really didn't.
I'm gonna try to see if we still have your.
Oh, it's up in PC.
List.
Yeah, it should also still be in PC and discussions in my Discord. So yeah.
I'm gonna look for that real quickly. PC parts discussion, and we're gonna scroll all the way up.
Yeah.
All the way up.
All the way.
Do. I love how Pokecord was in here at one time.
Can I just say, anybody else that does something like the campaign that I did, while I recommend it for those of you that are also starting out like I was, it is a lot of stress. It is a lot of work. And there are so many people that helped crowdfund this PC that I can't even begin to say thank you as much as I want to. And you're going to have a lot of people, that are in your corner. But keep in mind, you have to honestly have someone like Luigi around who knows what the fuck they're doing in order to get it done. Because I don't know about you, I don't know half the shit that I put in my computer. I only know what I was recommended and then doing my own research on it as I went. And even then, half the shit I don't understand.
So, looking at the parts and stuff right now, so it looks like so this is what she originally had. She originally had an Intel Core i5 3450, no K, no anything like that. An Asus P8B75-M motherboard. I'm thinking you had 8 gigs of RAM, right? 8 gigabytes of DDR3.
Yeah, correct.
Then you had a HIS 7850 graphics card of 2 gigabytes.
Yeah.
Had a 1 terabyte hard drive for everything.
Yeah.
A Thermaltake 600 watt power supply. And a Intermax gaming case. And as some extras, you also had a LG DVD dual layer SATA disk drive.
Yeah, that's right. That sounds about right.
So, going from that to now having a 8700K, am I right? An 8700K 16 gigs of RAM?
No, 32 gigs
32? I need to figure out what you have. Hold on. I am...
There are pictures. There are pictures of the parts as I was putting them in with my husband.
I'm just trying to grab the actual, just the specs list.
I mean, I'm looking at my beautiful, sexy, sexy RAM cards, and holy shit, they are beautiful.
Okay, yeah. So you have a Core i7 8700K, which is the last model that has what's called hyper-threading. So you have 6 physical cores and 12 logical, not logical, sorry. So yeah, 6 physical, but the computer thinks you have 12.
Yeah.
A Gigabyte Z390 motherboard, a 32 gigabyte kit of DDR4 3200 memory, a 1 terabyte solid state drive, and you also have a 3 terabyte hard drive.
Yeah.
because
That's right, yeah.
the 4 terabyte was a little bit too expensive, honestly.
And I mean, I might upgrade later on, just add another one.
Exactly.
Who's to say?
An RTX 2070, not the Super, because we did this. We did the parts on here before the Super models came out. So the 2070 was one of the best budgets for the price.
Yeah.
A Thermal Tank View 71 TG RGB full tower, which that thing is huge.
Yeah, I can't move it on my own.
You have a lot of upgradability on there. And also you found a 850 Supernova.
What? Yeah.
I think it's EVGA, right?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe it's EVGA.
It's either EVGA or Corsair. I don't remember, but it's
it
one
wasn't
of those.
Corsair.
All right, so
remember
EVGA
it's
then.
not Corsair.
So
yeah.
an EVGA 850 watt power supply, because it actually was honestly on sale for an amazing price. So you got a really good thing there.
Yeah, I did.
And then she's also running Windows 10 Home or Pro.
Yeah, thanks to you.
Whichever. Pro, there you go. Because that gives you the hard drive encryption if you wanted it.
Which I still gotta give you money for.
Yeah, whenever you get it, when you get it. I'm not too worried about $30. It's fine. And don't ask how I can get things that cheaply. Just note that I wholesale a lot of the stuff I have. So yes. But it's just really interesting to see this start from an idea to it being done. And now it took about 8 months for it to be
that's right.
completed. And it would have gotten completed, I would say a little bit sooner, but if you automatically delved in a little bit of your money into it automatically, I think the goal was trying to do all of it crowdfunded, but at the end of the day, it just wasn't possible to do that. And luckily, you were in a state to where you could put some money into the build yourself. To get it done quicker when parts became more on sale, or if it was a price that you could work with for your paychecks that you get for that week, for example.
Well, I mean, like, I did want to do as much as I could out of pocket, but I mean, like, the reality is, like, you know, I'm not considered like one of the larger streamers, so it's a little difficult to really just like sink that kind of money in. But at the same time, like, I have other bills that I have to pay, like, you know, as a former student, like, I have that to pay back. So the fact that people were willing to crowdfund this computer was a bit of a shock for me. Like, I didn't expect anybody to want to do that, you know? And I didn't feel right having it just only crowdfunded. So, I mean, like, the CPU I paid for out of pocket. Half of my I think it was like half of my my motherboard actually was also out of pocket. I think it was that, or it was the GPU. I can't remember, but I paid for a few things out of pocket. But the majority of it, honestly, if it wasn't for such an amazing community, because like I feel like that's what, you know, Twitch is, like, the people that watch and follow me on Twitch, those guys have been around for a while. They've been amazing, constantly supportive. Like, if I have issues where I need to take time away, they don't fault me for it, you know, like, they honestly just come to enjoy time with everybody else. So, like, if it wasn't for everybody helping me out, like, there is no way I would be at this point, like, in my life. Like, I would not be able to afford this out of pocket at this point. And yeah, it was a little stressful, you know, like, trying to pinch and pull where I could to make sure that I got the amount that I needed for the parts. And making sure the parts, oh god, the parts, that was difficult. I remember there were a few times where we'd have like late night conversations on Discord where we're going over the finer points of things. You remember those ones where we're just like trying to articulate to each other what we mean, but usually me, not understanding. So I've never done this.
Yeah, and the one thing too that I have to give credit on is that you are someone who is willing to learn.
Yeah.
And the one thing that's kind of hard for a person who does do PC building, especially since, I've been doing it for a while, and it's not like every day I'm doing a PC build. It
Yeah.
takes someone who is really motivated to do something, where I will go ahead and start helping them by kind of teaching them how to do small things and pick for specific things. And I have something stupid in my eye that's not when there it is, an eyelash. But it's something is just as easy as wanting to learn as much as you can while doing this really helps out at the end of the day. And and the only person you can think for that type of reasoning is yourself.
Yeah.
As I have people who I will build something for, and they're just like, I just don't know how to do anything. It's like, okay, well, do you want to be there when I build it? And a lot of people say no, because they just want a build and go home. Where you were kind of like, you were very hands-on. Now, via that, your husband specifically did do a lot more of the building portion. When it came to the more finer things like cable management, plugging in like connectors and stuff like that, he was more helpful there. But you specifically did things like the CPU, the RAM, the GPU. You did the bigger portions, which now, and the same things I'll tell anybody, building a PC is just like building Legos. You have an instruction manual, and you have tools to help you. You have people who have done build guides online. There's people like Linus Tech Tips, Paul's Hardware, Bitwit, Jay's 2 Cents, all of those amazing people who have done builds and have amazing high-quality videos. Austin Evans, too. All of those people really help out in that section. For people who have more confusion, or like, what lane should I put the PCI card in? What's the difference on them? And that's why those really do help out. But it also helps when you're doing it yourself, and it's your specific thing. It's not anybody else's, which makes it a lot easier.
I mean, for me, like, one of the things that I found the most difficult was the most difficult part was feeling comfortable picking up parts. And like, I'm just gonna say, like, it felt like, even though I wasn't, it felt like I was jamming them into spots, and it just made me feel uncomfortable because it's making noises. And like, sometimes when you're watching tutorials on how to build a computer, like, you're not hearing the noises. Like, they'll tell you, oh, you'll hear a click. Okay, well, there's a click, and then there's a click, and it's like, did I do that right? Because I heard a click, but I heard other noises. So it can be a little, it can definitely bring you a little anxiety doing it the first time. But, if it wasn't for the fact that, like, you were also coaching me through it too, and being like, hey, just remember, it's like adult Legos, I probably would have had a meltdown at some point, because I was so no, because like, I'd never done it before, right? It can be nerve-wracking. So like, that's how I was feeling at the time. And my husband, who has built a computer before, he hasn't built one of this type before. Like, this is a big build, like, without the panels. The case is pretty heavy as is. Adding everything else made it extra heavy. And then there's a lot more cables and a lot more cable management than the one that he previously worked on. And when you have that relationship with somebody that you're building with, it can be a little difficult, because you can be very comfortable with letting out your frustrations. But if it wasn't for Luigi, like, I would be a total nervous wreck, I'm
gonna try to show this up on screen. Sorry guys, it's from my phone, but that is the best that I can do without the camera trying to hate me 100%. But the build turned out very, very well for what it is, and I'll be honest, it took us a while to get done. I'll be honest. I wish Discord had timestamps on it, so I could see like what time it was. But it was around like 11:30 my time, you know. So it was like an all day thing for you, which I fully expected, because again, you've never done anything like this before.
No,
and
never.
it didn't help that I was on almost like a 20-minute phone call with Microsoft dealing with Windows 10 activation. So
That was fun.
that was interesting. But
not nearly as interesting as the other things that happened.
Yeah, so I mean, there are some stories that I do want to talk about of this build, but I guess the main thing I just want to kind of convey is that, you know, if you're someone who is wanting to start out with streaming, you don't have to have the best of the best to start out with. You know,
I agree.
And there have been times where I would point out saying like, hey, your frames are dropping. Hey, your frames are dropping like to no tomorrow dropping.
Well,
and that's something that you can't handle because it wasn't your internet. It's just your graphics card has 2 gigabytes, which again is enough to get started. But when you're playing higher intensive games, your graphics card uses pretty much everything for the game, and then your encoder is trying to do everything through that dedicated graphics card.
Yeah.
So, and now you have an 8 gigabyte card, which you probably only use, you know, probably about 50-60% of it. And if you're playing a game at high settings, you know, then you're using about more like 80-90, but, you know, your streams.
But that's also where your SD comes in, SD card comes in too.
Yeah. And that's also where I can say your streams have vastly improved on how everything looks. Like if I was able to go back in time to get a stream before she did the build, and go to the one right afterwards after we fix all the settings and stuff like that to be as smooth as it is right now, you guys can tell a huge difference. It went from being choppy. The game just looked really, really unsynced up. A lot of shots that should have hit did not hit, and it wasn't because you didn't hit them. It's just that you had really bad latency. And now we're here with a 1 terabyte solid state drive internal, which is not even done through a cable. It's all internally done through the motherboard. So you're getting one of the fastest solid state drives that I don't say the fastest, but it's one of the most known brands out there right now. And it works amazingly well, you know. Yeah. And with Windows 10, even though I will tell everyone that Windows 10 sucks.
It does.
You have to give you have to get it credit that when you're playing a game, Windows 10 is a lot smoother with all the gaming versus Windows 7. And I hate saying that because 7 is still my favorite because that's what I grew up on. That's what I know personally, and that's where I learned to do all of this stuff was through Windows 7. My first 2 builds were done with Windows 7 Professional. And they turned out amazingly, and Windows 7 was an amazing product of its time. But here we are in 2020, and they just killed support for it.
And I mean, like, I don't mind. Like, I'm just gonna say, like, with Windows 10, I actually don't mind the way it's set up. Like, I thought it was gonna be a lot worse than what I have now. You know, like, it's actually a lot easier to maneuver around in the applications and other things. So like if I have a security notification, it pops up at the side of my screen and I can interact with it there. I don't have to open another window. Like it's right there. It will pop up. It'll show me what I need to fix. I click on it and I just continue doing what I'm doing. It does it in the background. It's great.
Yeah. And that's what makes it really nice is that it's in the background. You don't have to really worry about it at all. It's easy. It's easy to work with. And the notification center in general is great to have. Especially since I have a laptop as well. So there'll be times where I want to turn off Wi-Fi and go to airplane mode, or because I finally bought a USB-C to Ethernet adapter, so I can start using Ethernet when I do streams, which I've been doing with when I stream with Eli and stuff, and I don't have a face camera or whatever. I'm streaming on a laptop, and it's so much nicer. But also the notification center in general is just great. I think they've designed it very well, and the whole Windows key as well too. You be able to put your for example, for weather, you're able to put your city and state in there.
Yeah.
You're able to have your own personal news feed and photos, and it makes it really intuitive. I just miss the easier searching.
Yeah.
That's just the one thing I miss. Is if there's something that I want, I don't want it to look up the internet. I want to specifically just look for applications in my desktop, in my C drive. So that's the one thing I wish they could fix. And there are still some bugs that they
there are,
need
but
to
I mean,
fix.
it's gonna be like that with every
Yeah.
thing. I mean, like, the one thing that I did find frustrating with Windows 7 was the amount of files you had to go into to actually find a file, whereas this one, like, I'm not gonna lie, I find it easier to search for things now. Like, if I have a real hard issue looking for something, I can just Google, copy, and paste.
Yeah.
And it'll be exactly where it says it is. Unless, of course, I switched, it to be, like, in my dick drive. So, yeah, that's what we named my 3 terabyte, by the way, guys. It's not that, I have a drive for dick pics or anything. It's just called my dick drive.
It's because husbando has a 3-inch. Anyways, so no, I'm joking.
Oh wow!
I'm joking. I'm not that mean, okay?
I mean, if you were mean, you would have sent off, like, you would have been recording when your face went into my boobs.
True.
That was great.
True. So let's get into the story of the build itself. So for people who don't know, Elf and I both stream on Twitch, and we kind of have a community around each other. And you guys can actually watch us. I have little panel cards right there. You guys can just search up those names on Twitch, and bam, you'll find both of us. But alongside that, the actual build itself, most of it was done off camera. Elf pretty much did 80% of it by herself. It was pretty much the things that were more tedious, I guess you want to say it like that, where she kind of called me in for. Again, I give her credit for doing a lot of the work, but there are some things that I guess I can say through here to give you guys a reminder at home that make sure that you have all your cables, because that was the first big thing. So we actually plugged in everything, and we hit the power button, and everything lit up and stuff, but there was no post. And so I was kind of looking around and stuff, and she had me on, like, her counter space, because she built it in like her dining room, living room area, so she had more space. And then when we got to being closer and closer, then she moved it to her area where she records and stuff. And right in front of me, there was a cable, legitimately just right there. And I kind of read it, and I'm just like, what is the cable in front of me? I just asked the question because I didn't know what it was. It could have been an extra PCIe cable for all I care about. I just wanted to see what it was, and then she read out, it says CPU, and I'm like, that's why I didn't post. And then right then and there, her husband, like, face was like, oh shit, and then so
because I was like, because we were left with a bunch of cables, right? And he thought that he got all the ones that we needed, and the rest were just like extras, and they were not extras. Most of them were not extras.
So make sure, if you guys are going to be doing a build at home, make sure that you have all the cables. Specifically, if you're using like something like the Ryzen 5 through Threadripper series, or a Intel Core, any of the Intel cores, really any computer nowadays, but some of them may not have to have dedicated CPU, but 95% will. So make sure that you have your CPU cable plugged in. There will be a header on the top left-hand corner that's either a 4-pin or an 8-pin. Please make sure you have that plugged into your power supply, because then your CPU will have no power. So that's a big lesson we learned that day. So
Yep.
there's your reminder. And also, as another reminder too, make sure your graphics card is on the top slot that it fits in. So do not put it any lower than the top slot, or you will be losing performance. There's your 2 tips for the day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I should probably also say too, both me and Elf are both getting better from getting sick. I had a pretty nasty cold, which I still have remnants of in my lungs. It won't go away. It's just here. And then Elf is still having some congestion, sniffly, coughy stuff. So, please wash your fucking hands. Anyways, back to the build. Hold on a second. You actually wrote a tweet. Let me find it, and I will try to do but the song as good as I can.
Oh, that one. If you're gonna wash your hands.
Yes. If you got a cold and you know it, wash your hands. If you're sick
and you know it, and you really wanna share it, if you're sick and you know it, wash your motherfucking hands. That's pretty much what.
Pretty much. So there's your song for the day. Producers, are we happy? Producers, are we happy?
Are we?
I think they're happy.
I
think they're happy. Cool.
Thank you. Do better drugs, people.
Oh my god. Oh dear. I'm gonna submit this to Apple, and they're gonna be like, no. Take your shitty podcast somewhere else.
Oh my.
So the parts that I kind of helped out in were pretty much just the ending of it. So seeing the post screen, making sure all the RAM is detected, make sure the solid state drive and the 3 terabyte hard drive were detected, blah 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 blah. And the one thing that made it easier is that, if I'm right, you didn't plug in your 3 terabyte drive until the end, after Windows was done and stuff, which makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
So everything is there, because I had an issue where one of my 2 terabyte hard drives, for some reason, took some of my files from my C drive and put them on the D drive, so I couldn't actually reset things on the PC, and it was slow as shit. Now that I reset everything is a lot faster on this PC now, which is really nice. So I know this might sound dumb, but I would even recommend, if you have more than one hard drive, if you're not using it for anything else except for storage, whatever is your C drive or drives, if you're doing like a RAID or whatever, please just don't plug them in. You can legitimately turn off the PC, plug in the rest of the stuff that you would need to, turn it on, and initialize it when you're done with the Windows install. It could actually save you a lot of time. But,
I mean, like,
go ahead.
Jinx. No, but like, seriously, like, unless you're using that much space, there's no actual point. Like, if I upgrade at any point in my time, it's probably going to be because my 3 terabyte was not enough to hold all the shit that I accumulate on my PC. But then again, that's where remembering to do a disk cleanup every now and then is, it's very handy. I highly recommend. That's the only way I was able to keep my other build from dying so fast, was the fact that every month, actually, I would do a disk cleanup. If your computer is running slow and you don't know why, do a quick cleanup. Guaranteed you're going to have a lot less issues with latency if you clean up your fucking drives, because we end up accumulating quite a few dead files like over time. Like with every game upgrade or update, every game that you download, there's always going to be a redundant file. Make sure that you do your cleanups at least once a month, especially if it's starting to get slow.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No,
Yep.
you're fine. You're fine. You're giving them some tech tips. Elf tips.
My elfin elf tech tips.
Yeah.
My tip just for the bit.
There's no biddies. There's no biddies.
There's no
Biddies.
Oh
Anyways,
my. That was like a hot dog in the hallway.
pretty much. Okay, so let's talk about, I guess, the part that was, I think, the funniest. That wasn't the phone call to Microsoft.
Uh-huh.
So your husband
Yes.
was
the love
kind
of my life.
of being a cameraman
Yes.
for a little bit of time. And while doing this, he was like grabbing stuff and whatever. So I'm basically just like getting a half-ass apartment tour while he's just grabbing random shit and dropping it next to you. And he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go grab this." And the way he passes your phone is by he just goes like this, smashes the phone into your boob, and then you kind of just like grab it, and you were just like, "So you felt my boob."
Yeah.
And
I mean, what else was I supposed to say at that point? Yeah.
I have no idea yet.
You've been mashed up against my boobage. It happened.
It was quite nice. So it's just I think it's just funnier how it was pretty much just like one of those like didn't probably even mean to do it, but it just happened like that. And then you just run with it.
Yeah. I mean, what else am I supposed to do with it? And he went with it too. It's like,
Yeah.
you gotta have a sense of humor about that stuff. He legit just pushed a camera into my tit. What else am I supposed to do here?
It's like one of those videos to where it's like one of those like meme videos where it's like, "Oh, look at me being ugly," and then you just like push it into your tit, and then when you bring it out, you have the happy music, and you're looking, like all flying, sexy and shit. And it's just
Yeah.
It's just like, no, I just got shoved into a tit. It's like a really bad porno, where it's a person on the phone, like on Snapchat or whatever, and that's their way of making a professional movie.
A professional movie? No, are we talking casting couch or
Oh, we're talking
casting couch?
everything.
Fake taxi.
The person that has the $10 Android phone from Walmart, that type of quality.
Oh, that's real quality right there.
That's real quality. Like that's just like that's pretty much the person who's just I like shit.
No, you gotta say it, man. You gotta say it.
I like sex. Oh boy.
It's like, my name is Buck. I'm here to talk about my truck.
My name's Travis, and I'm here to fuck your bitch.
Oh my. Oh my god.
So
No, Build Day was great. Build Day was great.
That was
Stressful,
a lot of fun.
but awesome.
That was
awesome.
That was a lot of fun. I truthfully enjoyed it. It was one of the funniest, but also I think really rewarding.
Yeah,
because
think it was too.
I mean, you did a lot of the work. I did absolutely nothing. I just was just modding. But
Hey man, you helped. Don't lie.
The day of when it happened and stuff, that was a day where you did something very, very out of your comfort zone. I'm talking from doing what you normally do every single day
Yeah.
to building a almost an over $2,000 CA PC. I have to say CA, she lives in Canada. So Canadian money, $2,000.
Yeah.
Which is about 1,800, I think, for us here in the U.S. But very, very good. And so I guess now, I guess I should do this as a follow up. I guess, you know,
Yeah.
because it's been a few months. It looks like we finished it around very, very, very late November. I think it was very, very like the week before, like
Yeah.
the Thanksgiving holiday. When at least my Thanksgiving holiday.
Yeah.
For when we finished everything. And with it being about 2 months, 3 months that's now being built and being online and active and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
What are your like thoughts and stuff like that? Do you have any regrets on any of the parts that you have bought? Is there something that you would like to do different
Honestly,
with your next build?
honestly, I'm enjoying the way it is now. I haven't seen anything where I would regret certain parts per se. I mean, I do kind of like question why I decided to go for such a large build, but on the other hand, I'd never done it before. And quite honestly, I feel like this will last me years to come. Um, in regards to like uh things that I think I wish it could do, not really. Like I think there's so many things that I can do with it, is just learning how to do those things. For me, this has been a learning experience, not just learning how to build a computer, but like learning how to utilize said computer. I acknowledge and I love how little latency there is with what I'm doing on my computer versus what you see on my stream. My thing is getting my old ass brain to recognize the potential stuffs that my computer can do. Cause like I still have that mentality and I try not to go through that mentality of my old build, like my old computer, where like there were a lot of things I was not like capable of doing because like I was afraid of frying my computer. The way I have it now, like I know there's pretty much an infinite amount of things that I could do to like create better content, create much higher quality stuff. It's just again getting my brain out of that mindset of like preserve the computer. It's like that whole like freaking Cyberman mentality. But yeah, no, I absolutely love this thing. And I can't wait to see what else I can do with it, which is why I have my dude Luigi here, who's also kind of like my conscience, where he'll be recommending shit whenever he thinks that I'm not utilizing it to its potential.
I'm going to eventually teach her how to do simple view editing. Eventually.
Eventually. So far, I've been potato at it. I tried once. And I couldn't even get it to do anything at all. So
yeah, well, I would have to. I need to replay around with Resolve a little bit more and figure out how I can custom map keys and just be able like, to send you a file and like this is what I would do.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's see.
What?
So is the computer still running as it was like day one? Have you seen any type of slowdown with it? Is there anything that you feel like it is like I wish it could be faster, or is pretty much everything how you kind of imagined it?
Honestly, things are faster than I imagined they would be. I kind of feel like things have gotten a lot faster since day one. I don't know if it's because maybe I still have like the old brain mentality of my old build can be as you know, it can be a bit detrimental towards growth of the content I bring out, but it is beneficial in the fact that I still clean out my disk drive frequently. Like I make sure that if it's a redundant file, it's gone. Um, and in that manner, you know, like I haven't honestly found my computer slowing down at all. I'm not gonna lie, like when it came to building the computer, the biggest issue I had was probably thermal pasting the fan to the CPU. And I mean, like, I'm not gonna lie, like I had to take it off. I had to grab an alcohol swab and I had to wipe because I left way too much of the paste around the outside. And yeah, I know that's not gonna hurt it too much, but I was still freaking out about it. So that was one thing that I was worried about, and I've been keeping an eye on is temperature. And I've noticed that the temperature is just as good, if not better, than the first day I booted up. I don't know why, but like it feels like it's better than before, you know?
Well, your PC also learns your tendencies. So,
Yeah.
you know, the cool thing about how this PC kind of works is that if it's not seeing that you need a lot of power or anything like that, it's going to dive itself back. And when you do need more power, like when you're getting ready to stream and you have Fortnite load up, for example, you know, and you have I know your graphics aren't all low, but it's like some are medium, some are low, some are still higher. Because I know you're a detail freak, you know, and
yeah, I am.
Yeah, with that though, that's kind of the cool thing about specifically having a custom done PC is that I let my motherboard control how fast everything is spinning on the CPU fan. So if I'm not using it very much, like for example, right now by recording, I'm using OBS Studio 24.0.3 at the time of this recording. I'm only using up to maybe 10-15% CPU. I'm probably using more memory, like RAM, than anything else for OBS being up right now, and for Discord being up, since that's a RAM ear. As you guys can hear, you guys can't hear it whatsoever. And I have no suppression. Oh, shit. I have no suppression. I have nothing on the microphone. I just have it dialed down to where it doesn't really do anything until I'm actually speaking. And this computer, with it having the 5 different fans. Oh, if you count GPU fans and power supply fans, I have 8 fans on my build.
Oh, shit.
This thing does not get hot at all. Even in summertime when it can get warm down here, no problems whatsoever. And that's one thing that I feel like that's one thing that people are going to give me flack about, that I still prefer air cooling over water cooling. And that's not because I don't like water cooling. I just see it as there's no need for it unless if you absolutely are doing it for a reason. So if you have your build overclocked to 5 gigahertz every single day and that's how you run your PC, then liquid cooling might be a little bit better for you, since you're going to have more you'll have more liquid going through, and it'll have a much easier time for getting fresh liquid in and out. So your CPU does stay cool. But for applications where you're not really doing that much, I mean, Elf, you have, I think, 5 fans in yours? 2 on the front, 1 in the back, I think 2 or 3 on your graphics card, 1 on your power supply, and then you have your CPU fan, obviously. So I just don't see that the tendency or needed for an AIO or a water-cooled loop if you don't absolutely need it. And for someone like me, I'm in the basement, so I mean, it can get warm or cold, but it's normally cold down here, so it's perfect for my PC. But for places like Elf, where her apartment does not have very good air conditioning or none at all, and times like that where it gets really, really hot in there, you know, the PC is going to be warm in general. Water does not just stay cold. If water is getting room temperature, it goes to room temperature. So it doesn't matter.
I mean, like, that was the one thing, too. It's like, I have a friend, like, arguing with me over the type of cooling I was using. Sorry, I've got I've got the
We have
sick
phlegm
thing
in our
that-
bodies, guys. All right, phlegm is just there. It's not
have
going
the-
away.
We have the phlegm, you know. It's gotta be
Phlegm.
said like that. Phlegm. Anyway, like I had a friend who was like debating on what the best cooling method was, and they were saying to use to use liquid cooling. Well, I mean, like in all honesty, like I think the cooler master that we chose, I believe it's an AOI, right? Which means all in one. Yeah. Essentially that's what it's like. So it's an all-in-one system. So it majorly uses air to cool down the liquid that is inside the tubes. And
there is no liquid in here. It's just heat.
That's what he told me. Well, anyway.
Yeah,
See, this is the thing, right? Is like I'm no like anyway, but the fact is that I don't need I don't need liquid cooling because I have a decent air coolant. Like I don't require that because I'm not going ham. It's not like I'm trying to break into government facilities or something like that. Winky face, nudge, nudge. The Illuminati are watching you. Anyway, like that's the thing is like it's all about perspective and all about application. If I was to use my computer for something more hardcore than what I actually do, then yes, I could understand liquid cooling. But what I'm using now, honestly, it would be pointless and a waste of money. Plus, it would be time consuming considering the amount of maintenance that you have to do. Because I believe you have to clean your liquid cooling tubes. I think it's like every 3 months, is it?
I don't know.
There's a bunch of things you have to do.
But yeah.
There's more maintenance to liquid cooling than there is air cooling, and I prefer air cooling. It's also a lot quieter too. I don't hear the little chug-a-lug that I've heard on certain ones with the liquid cool. And I mean, there's also the fact that I was a little paranoid about getting the random leak in the tubes and then end up having parts that are pretty much dead because they came into contact with moisture. Because that has happened. It is a thing.
I actually want to also point out that via, you can call this a BS thing, whatever, I don't care, but Linus Tech Tips actually made a video where they tried multiple different types of cooling. So they've tried multiple different types of air coolers and all-in-one water coolers, AIOs. And it showed that pretty much they have almost the same type shit. And actually, the bigger AIOs actually perform worse than just standard stock air cooling. So the best method would be probably two fans on two separate radiators, if that makes sense. And then you would have heat pipes and then a plate.
Yeah.
But the whole process of it was very interesting, and seeing that really made me be able to say we don't really need water cooling for this build. And again, it's a whole different story if you're putting if you're getting an i9 9900K and you're overclocking that thing to 5 gigahertz and using it maxed out every single day as a rendering server or whatever. I could understand you using water cooling being a custom loop, so you have, a lot easier time getting that type of stuff. But for simple everyday computers, air cooling is cheaper and is still very, very, very effective. I have never had this PC go worse than what it was. So that's just my I don't want to say personal opinion, but that's just my thing.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, we don't really have a sponsor for this show, so we're pretty much just going to do. I'm going to call it a break. So we're going to real quickly pause the recording. For you guys, it's going to be 1 second. For us, it's going to be 10 minutes. But we're going to pause the recording real quickly. Cause it's been about an hour and we're gonna take a small break.
And I have a bladder.
And she has to go pee. So when we come back, we are going to have what do you want to talk about when we come back?
I have no idea.
Cool, works for me.
Open book. I am like the grasshopper, or
all right.
a wave. I just go with the flow.
Okay. Well,
kind of like an ovary in a period. You're welcome.
All right. Well, we'll be back in a few, and for you 10 seconds, but for us, we'll be back in a few minutes, with another topic. We'll figure out what we're talking about, and we'll BRB.
Ever wondered why I enjoy Boom Boom in Fortnite?
I want to show you something really, really cool. You guys ready? Watch this.
Oh. It is God. Oh. Shiny. Hey, why did you stop?
Well, hey, this shit was expensive.
It's butane. Butane's cheap.
Expensive.
Cheap.
You're cheap.
Your mom. Oh wait, no. That.
Yeah,
she's
say
a nice
that.
lady.
Yeah, say that.
Nice lady.
Wow.
Your mother is a nice lady. I will say nothing against your mother. Yo, daddy, cheap.
Yeah, he left. He legit hopped on and said, "Hey, is that my son?" Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Thanks for thanks for birthing. Yeah, I'm just gonna,
It's just like I'm gonna go bye now. Thanks.
I gotta go to the market and
do some things.
Pretty much.
Oh my. Are you all right, there, Apparently not. Help! Send help, guys! He's dying.
Oh damn. My throat hates me.
Your throat hates you?
Yep.
Nice.
Man, so do my lungs.
Yeah, that's what you that's what happens when you inhale facial pubes. I mean, at least I didn't say the other kind of pubes. Oh.
If I did this should be a really good mask.
Right? You need some way to like keep it up there though. Maybe hairspray.
Something like that. People who are listening to the audio version of this, I took my beard and put it up like towards my nose, covering my mouth and shit.
Yeah.
2020 is here, right? We're in 2020.
It is. Oh my god.
So, congratulations on living for the decade that you did.
Thank you.
This will be decade number 200 for you, right? What is something
400?
different in this decade? I don't know your age anymore. I don't fucking care. What is something in this year, in 2020? Because let's be honest, I hate New Year's resolutions.
Yeah.
Those things are such a lie. And if it works for you at home, great. Do it. But for me, I'm just like, oh, I'm going to go work out. Hasn't happened yet. So I'm going to stop drinking soda. Hasn't happened yet. As I'm drinking a soda right here, right now. What is something for your channel? Something for your, let's say your brand of Elf. What is something that you want to do this year? Or what is a goal for this year that you want to accomplish? It doesn't have to be immediately. It can be something that can be happening over the entire 2020 year. What is something that you really would love to do, either for streaming or YouTube or social media? What is something that you really want to do?
I actually plan on coming out with a miniature cosmetic, actually. It's a lip balm in a tube called Rip H Esports Edition. I joked about it a few times this week, but I've actually decided that I'm going to look into the development of it, and I'm going to make that rather than having um like t-shirts and mugs and shit like that, because like those are nice and everything, but they cost extra to send. Whereas it doesn't cost that much to make a tube of lip lubrication. So I thought, why not do Rip H Esports and mix in a little bit of bathwater. Just kidding. Actually, well, technically that isn't too much of a lie. I won't get too much into that one. But I do want to expand my games, like the games that I choose to play for my stream. As you've seen, I did give myself an anxiety attack the other day playing Resident Evil 2. But I have also purchased The Witcher 3. I just have to tweak that to make sure there's no nudity for Twitch reasons. But things like that, like I want to kind of like add more games to my repertoire. And I also want to have more nights where it's just chill time with people that I enjoy. So people that I'm close with, like you, Chef, Lala, Graphics, people of the like, to be part of like part of a game night, like where we just sit down and have fun. I enjoy those nights where we play things like Monopoly and Uno and things like that. And I honestly want to just have more fun with my friends this year. And I want to be able to introduce people that are watching my stream and everybody else's stream to the other side of us that they don't normally always see, because sometimes we're on and we're just on for other people, but sometimes I want to be on for my friends. Giggity. My friends are turning me on. I just want to have more connection with the people that I care about. And I really want to bring that into my streams.
You said there was one thing that you're not really going to speak about a lot. Is there any drop hints you can give? That way, if the people are, I don't want to say a super fan, but people like are regularly in your streams, a regular viewer, they can get a hint, but also for people who are new to the stream.
I mean, I made a massive hint on what I'm considering. Like it was partly joke, but partly not a joke. I do kind of want to incorporate things that you are useful. And that's where I'm kind of thinking, if I plan on going into any type of merchandise, I want to do something a little different from what everybody else is doing. So that's your biggest hint. You'll probably pick up other hints as I go through my streams, as I come out with other interesting fake advertisements and stuff like that. You might see some really nifty creative things coming out of those things. Now, it's all about, of course, making sure things are safe and that things aren't going to get shut down before they can even start, and then just being like an expensive like thing to have tried to start in the first place.
Yeah.
So there's that. But that is my goal. My goal is to bring some interesting things to my viewers, things that they can interact with. And of course, one of the other goals is to have more meaningful connections with the people.
Oh, what the? No, what the fuck? I hate this. I hate everything to do with this right now. There.
Do you want to
Okay.
just like continue on another time?
No, it's fine. Everything's fine. Just go.
Are you sure? Because like that's getting a little frustrating. I did not break Twitch. It was you.
I'm not even breaking anything. It's just Discord.
I didn't break Discord either. I haven't broken either Discord or Twitch.
Rip everything. I don't know.
Right?
Okay. So, all right. That's interesting. So, good luck on that. I can't help you. I
know
have
you
zero.
can't.
I have zero knowledge about that shit at all. So,
I mean, I already have some knowledge. Like you guys, like you and everybody else knows, I used to be a hairstylist, so I do know some of that stuff. It's just getting it into production that's going to be a bit of a pain in the ass and maybe even a little bit stressful. But if I can do things my way, I think I know how I can go about it.
I like it. Cool.
Me too.
Are there any goals for your streams? So, obviously, you talked about you wanting to branch out, do some merchandising. You want to branch out and get some different games and stuff like that. But is there, like, a goal for your stream for this year? Is there, like, a figure you want to attempt to hit this year?
Honestly, I never look at the numbers. I don't like to look at the numbers. When I do, it puts me in a spot where I can't tell if I'm happy or if I'm disappointed, so I try not to look at them. Obviously, I see my analytics and I can see where I'm improving and where I'm not improving.
Okay.
So, I mean, like, if I can improve my numbers, that would be great, but they're not my main focus. Like, when I do this kind of stuff, I'm doing it because I enjoy it. I enjoy the people I'm interacting with. I am enjoying the content that I put out. I don't believe looking at numbers while doing things is mentally beneficial. But if I was to, let's see, like I average anywhere between 7 and 20 some odd viewers per stream, like of average viewer time. So if I could get it to 30 or 40, that would be great. But I'm not going to push myself to do that because, again, I don't look at the numbers while I'm live. So the only thing I can do is gauge things based off of the interaction with my viewers, which means I guess my goal isn't so much numeric. I think my goal is to be a little bit more interactive with my viewers. If that means that I have to go and get like a foot pedal so I can mute myself and the people I'm talking with so I can talk to my chat, I will. But like I do want to be able to better take care of the people that are talking to me in the stream chat. So I think that would be my main goal. And I think that would benefit it.
I think one thing that could help you, especially since you use Slobs, if I'm correct, like Streamlabs OBS.
Yeah.
There's actually a new feature on it called Chat Overlay, and it's actually for people who actually only have one monitor. Since I know you are running a one monitor setup, and what it does is that it puts a chat overlay on top of your game.
Yeah.
Which for some people could be very distracting, but I have told a few people about this, and I actually see their interaction going up by this. Because you can change your opacity, you can change all that stuff, which that could be something that you could kind of benefit from. Since, I mean, I know you do use your phone and stuff like that, and yes, that is a viable option, but...
Yes.
Also, too, one thing that I also tell people is try to use the resources that you have to your advantage. And that could be one very big resource. That way, you're not trying to, like, for me, I have 3 monitors. So when I look this way, most people know I'm looking at chat. Or if I'm looking this way, I'm looking at, like, Warp World stuff. So people kind of know my body language and stuff. And for people like you, for example, who have a avatar overlay and your camera has to be in the correct area and stuff like that, that chat overlay will make you be more focused to the center screen. Yeah. Which actually could help with having more engaging conversation. That's just what I'm seeing from
it.
the
It would
analytics.
be if I was neurotypical. The fact of the matter is, I have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, which means that if I have too many things on the screen, I'm not going to pay attention. It's not going to work. It's going to distract the shit out of me. I'm going to get anxious. I'm probably going to get frustrated and irritated. And I actually have tried using it. And the problem is like, for me, like when I see them, even at the lower opacity, the problem is that my brain registers it as a type of a boundary. So then I don't want to put my mouse over in case I click something wrong. And while I know that, me clicking there isn't actually going to have an effect on it, my brain doesn't always take that into account. And for me, again, it becomes a boundary. So that's why I stick to the phone thing. So at some point, when I do become the 2-monitor setup that I want to do, it'll be a little easier because then I have a larger monitor that's a little closer because I have ideas of how to do that. But like so far, like when I was using it, I didn't really find that my interactivity really went up by anything. Like if anything, it kind of was detrimental because like I wasn't able to actually focus on the words on it. I was more focusing on the box, which can be a little frustrating.
And people are very different with that. So there's gonna be different sides to this story. It's just like the whole channel. It's just like the whole channel points thing.
Yeah, I don't use them.
Like you don't use them, and I mean, I have switched my old bot to become the channel points. That way, people can have an easier time getting things, and people on mobile do get those chests and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think it's more fair. But for people like, for example, Lala, channel points, I could probably teach him how to turn them off because there is no point in him having them on since he uses the Streamlabs bot.
Yeah.
And I know you're trying to use a different bot than the Streamlabs bot for that type of stuff if you're going to start actually doing that type of stuff.
Yeah, which I might.
But for you, I could say too is that since you're not right now using something, the channel points could be something beneficial to give viewers something to interact with. Instead of you having set up your whole stream element stuff, you can do it all through Twitch and do channel points, and it's right there, intuitive, and it's in the Twitch application. They don't have to go to any type of secondary third party, or they don't have the worst experience on mobile. It's pretty much all the exact same.
Yeah, which is understandable. For me, like, part of my resistance to the channel points thing is always been the fact that like whenever I hear somebody talking about it, they talk about how broken it is, like how it doesn't necessarily work the way that they want to. And so like I feel like that part has kind of made me a little indecisive on whether or not I want to use it. But the other thing is like, as you already know, I'm not a face streamer. Like I use an avatar.
Yes.
It makes it a little harder to make those points interactive unless it's some sort of phrase or something I do with my game. And I mean, like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a fairly stubborn person. If someone uses those points to make me do something that I really don't want to do, like that kind of makes it where people don't want to use them because like clearly like I might have an issue with how they're being used.
I mean, I'll do it all the time. I know what you're talking about. I still fucking do it. No, I'm joking. Well,
it's also the fact, like Canadian, we're supposed to be like according to like our stereotypes, we're very accommodating, very polite people, supposedly.
If you want to put that knowledge to the test, freaking watch Family Feud Canada.
Oh,
you will understand why I'm saying this right now because I just showed Elf an episode.
Popeye's chicken.
Chicken!
You gotta do the dance. Do the dance part. Popeye's chicken.
No, but
oh my God, that was great.
That's what I think will help break the stereotype is Family Feud Canada. But yeah, no, the channel points thing is very different.
Yeah.
I'm more upset that I set everything up through Streamlabs and I had to go through hell to fix everything just for 2 months later for something else to happen. So that's why I'm upset with it. But I'm also not upset because it touches one thing that I had an issue with, which is mobile users. Because mobile users, for people who don't know what I'm going to be talking about, we're talking about some Twitch stuff, so I hopefully can try to purvey this as easy as possible. There's an application called Streamlabs, which is what a lot of us use to have things like alerts pop up on the screen, how we take donations, stuff like that. There's a special thing on there called loyalty points that you can get by watching a streamer for a certain amount of time. If you're on a desktop, you can get these special chests. They float on the screen for about 12, 15 seconds, whatever. And if you click on it, you get extra points. But on mobile, you don't ever get that opportunity. You know, and since correct, yeah. So for that,
I get them.
I can never do the Streamlabs, like the one that like Lala uses on mobile. I can never grab any of the chests on the screen. It never pops up.
Yeah, no, that one, no.
That's what I'm saying. So we're talking about Streamlabs right now, not channel points. So
okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so the Streamlabs one, it's embedded in something with how the video works and stuff, is an embedded overlay. Where on mobile, that overlay doesn't exist. So you don't get your chance to get extra points. Where with the channel points, you do. You can get the chests on mobile, tablet, or desktop, and all your points will go between devices. So it's all user-based, which is amazing. So if you're watching Lala, me, and Elf, you will have 3 different channel point things since it's channel specific, and how we use our points can also be very different too. I just wish that channel points could be intuitive with Streamlabs, so if someone does do something, I get some type of alert, because it just being in the chat really makes me have to focus on chat more, which I should be doing, but it makes it harder when I'm trying to play a game. And I have to keep looking over to make sure that no one's making me do things like spin the wheel or do a toxic waste or whatever. So that's the one thing I wish that could happen, is we get a more easier way of getting channel points to be up on the screen overlay for everybody to see in a much bigger light. And hopefully I could also talk to the guys at the LumaBot, which is the service that someone that I know uses to change colors and hue lights and stuff like that. To have it to where if someone like highlights a message or whatever, it like does something really cool with the lights. So I have some ideas to talk to people about. It's just more getting them done.
Yeah. Robitussin.
Okay. And then is there anything else that you have like goal wise, like with like YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Discord, anything like that, or is it pretty much just you're just wanting to focus mostly on Twitch because that's what you're comfortable with? As I mean, that is a fully liable answer that people can say yes and no, that's a good answer to.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I have a YouTube channel, but I don't really utilize it the best I could. Now, if I wasn't pressed for time all the time and I had a little bit more self-motivation to actually sit there and like go through videos and just edit the crap out of them and then post them, I would. But the problem for me is, like, I'm just not a patient person. And then there's also the aspect of having to look at stuff where I have to hear my own voice, Like, I'm one of those people that gets cringed out by my own voice very easily. So when I watch previous recordings of myself, I just get so cringed out and I can't help it. It makes me just want to rage quit life. You know how I mean? Like, I'm not sure if you get it, but, like, I personally don't enjoy hearing myself talk.
I actually have here. So I'll answer your question with this thing. One of the things at work is that we have a new overhead system that we're supposed to be using versus this old microphone we used to use, and
Yeah.
this overhead system has a delay of my voice. So
Oh,
if I would
no?
ever use it, I hear myself about 2 seconds after on there. So if I say
Hmm.
attention blah, a second later it'll say attention blah, and so it's hard to keep a head on that.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, it's annoying. But sadly, I hate my voice. But the reason why I'm saying I can deal with editing is because once I get my voice just right, I'm
Mhm.
usually able to mute that channel and more focus on the aspects where I know where I peak, where I do something funnier, where versus something's
Yeah.
more dead. So it's just learning those type of deals that can
Oh,
make
of
it
course.
funnier and stuff in that type. But also I do live shows. So if I would do like a live game show or whatever,
Yeah.
my voice is on these gigantic speakers next to me. So I do hear them. And
See, like,
when I hear my own voice, it's just one of those like I try to block it out. I try to pretend like
yeah.
I am talking as a presenter versus talking as a normal person. So
See, like,
yeah,
when I'm talking, like, through my microphone, like, obviously, uh, with the AT2020, I have the function of having the microphone attached to the headphone. Or,
yeah,
sorry, the other way around. So that way I can hear myself as I'm going to make sure that the microphone is picking me up. Other than that, I don't like hearing my voice, like, because, like, once whatever it is that I've said is out of my mouth, is out of my mouth, it's gone, and I don't have to hear it again,
yeah,
right? So, like, I'm hearing it as it's coming out rather than having a delay, so it's easier to handle. So I mean, I would prefer to, I think part of my goals for this year is focus a bit more on Twitch, but also try to add more things to my YouTube just because I know sometimes, like, there's things that people don't catch because it's not on my Twitch. Or, like, it gets deleted after 30 days because I'm not partner, it goes away after 30 days. Which means that people are losing their chance to see, the content that I have. Actually, as recently as last night, I turned off the subscriber only archive. So now anybody can look at my archive, which is great for me viewer wise, but I mean, it doesn't benefit me in any way because that also means that people are less likely to donate, sorry, not donate, but like subscribe just to see previous stuffs. So that means that I have to do something different, which is bringing my stuff over to YouTube.
yeah. I'm actually one of the people who I hate when people do that, who turn on subscribe only, because there will be times where I want to take something from a video or
Yeah.
someone has a question on something, but I'm
Mhm.
not subscribed, so I actually can't go look back on it.
But I did that
And
for a reason though.
I understand
Like,
you do it for a reason, and so does Lala. You guys
mhm.
both do it for a legitimate reason, which I'm not upset about. It's just in
Yeah.
general, I wish that I just
People
wish
wouldn't
that
do it.
people wouldn't do it. If people are going to subscribe and follow your channel, I want it to be more because they want to. And I hate saying this, but as a moderator, I wish I have all the tools open to me.
Yeah.
And as someone who was not subscribed, but a moderator, I still can't see your
Yeah.
past VODs and stuff, which that is what I'm more upset about. That there is
Yeah.
no option to like people who
But
can
I
see
mean,
your VODs.
on the other hand, the problem is with the VODs, it's like you can't go back and edit them unless you download them to edit. And I mean, one of the cold hard realities of a streamer, especially one that plays in multiplayer games that are online with strangers, you have people that drop the words that are banned via TOS. So that means that the more people that have access to those videos in your archive, the higher chance you are to have mass reports because somebody's heard it in a video that you have in your archives. And the problem is like if you delete every single video that has that, well, especially with the toxic game, which is Fortnite, because like let's face it, it's pretty toxic. VR chat can be pretty toxic. You get multiple people per stream that's dropping that lovely N word that nobody likes to hear about. You know, and then all of a sudden your channel's gone. So I would rather people be upset that, you know, I have to have it as like pay to watch kind of thing rather than having a bunch of random people just come into my channel, pull up my VOD and then report it the moment they hear it. Like that was my mindset on that, and I'm pretty sure that's kind of why Lala has it the same way. It's to help prevent people from not just like reporting stuff that like is not within our control, but it's also the fact that people steal content. People do steal content. They go in without permission. They go and they take bits and pieces of other people's content, and then they go off and they sell it off as though it's their own. When in actuality, all the most work they did was steal a clip and then edit it into their own video. So, like, that's where I sit with it. Like, if somebody asks me for permission to use it, no problem. But I don't want to have to delete every single VOD because somebody said a word that obviously is not socially acceptable, but that taints the whole build, like the whole video, because I can't edit it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I got you. It could be maybe that I'm more someone who is wanting more the Twitch answer for this. Is I'm wanting it to where broadcasters, including myself, can allow a way to have moderators and like people who will do like channel editing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
To get full access to it if they cannot subscribe.
I mean, I do agree with that.
Because, and again, now I'm not saying I'm not subscribing to you, I don't like your channel and stuff like that, but, you know.
Sometimes you just, people can't afford it. Half the time I can't afford it.
Exactly, and there are times where it's like, oh, well, you know, as someone who's going to start editing for somebody else, you know, I have to have access to these videos via it be through the Twitch itself, or you downloading it, or you exporting it to YouTube under an unlisted playlist, and I have to go through there to download it. And
I mean, like,
it could make it hard for people who don't have the money. Yeah. So that's the only thing I say.
If I could have it set where my moderators had access to it, even though it's subscription only, I totally would. Because, like, you guys are the ones that help keep me running. You guys are the ones that help filter out the filth. Unfortunately, that's not how Twitch has it set up. So, I mean, at the moment I have it, where pretty much anybody can look at my VODs now. That was only because my husband couldn't watch. He desperately wanted to watch me play Resident Evil 2. He, like the majority of the people that watch me seem to enjoy when I'm anxious because I'm playing a horror game. That was the only reason why. You know, like, I try to keep it private because, again, I don't want my shit fucked with. Who honestly wants their shit fucked with? Like, Twitch needs to figure shit out and set things up where it's a little bit more user friendly for the streamers and their moderators 100%. But at the moment, like, unfortunately, the way they have it set up kind of fucks everybody.
Yeah.
Like, I really wish that they, like, yes, I do not agree with certain words being said while live on any platform, actually. But that said, you have to, like, Twitch and other platforms need to realize that sometimes the person that is putting out the content is not in control of what is actually being put out. Like, they can only control what comes out of their mouth, not what comes out of other people's. Right? And that kind of makes things a little difficult because they are still very unforgiving on the things that are heard. it doesn't have to come from your mouth specifically, as long as it comes from somebody's mouth. You know, you as the person that holds that account is accountable.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it kind of fucks things up. That's why some people like me and like Lala and like a whole bunch of other people I know of, they have to set it to the point where now you have to pay to look at what they've done in the past, just to make sure you're less likely to be the type of person to go in to report it. Because let's face it, you're not going to go into somebody's channel, pay for a subscription only just so you can go into their archives to find some obscure thing and report it. Nobody does that. They only report what they can actually look at that time.
Yeah.
You know? So it's kind of our way of like, it's like our anti-troll device in a way. It suck for moderators and those that, you know, honestly, genuinely appreciate the content? 100%. But it also, you know, like, it's there because we feel a need to protect ourselves.
At the end of the day, you have to save your ass. That's
exactly.
the answer.
It's CYA. Cover your ass.
Twitch is not going to do that. I already know why they're not going to do that. Is because they're going to make it to where it's your fault, not theirs. Because if someone says that word, if it's in their TOS, Twitch will be the first person to go to. Like, the company will say, hey, they did this, even though this is your TOS. They're not going to be like, okay, well, we'll take fault for this. No, they're going to ban you.
Of course, because you're easier to latch onto rather than losing like clout or money because this word was heard on your website.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a hard thing to go with. Again, I don't have it on personally, maybe because I'm just too nice, but a few of my personal friends legitimately live paycheck to paycheck, and they do not have $1 to spare. And with that, if they want to watch something, you know, that gives them the access to, and they can watch me as well as help support me. Which, again, I'm not disagreeing with you and Lala doing this. I don't want to, for the audience at home, I never said I disagree.
No. I'm not taking it as an attack.
I just say that it's kind of annoying as a moderator, as someone who works within that person, that when you have it on subscriber on, and let's say I have to cut a few subscriptions, you know, the first people I'm going to go to are people who already have a lot of subscribers because they're already doing well, if that makes sense.
And I feel like that's a problem. I honestly think that Twitch needs to actually address is, you know, what moderators can and cannot do. Like, when it comes to subscriptions, I think they should have some sort of like an honorary subscription, so like they can still see the subscription only content. But like if they choose to pay for a subscription, they can, by all means, like, you know, as a way to like support the content creator. But as somebody you know, like who you know, like as somebody who has to go through these things, like it would be within the streamer's best interest if the moderators could get a hold of those. Understandable. I get that. You know, but I also understand that, you know, people can't always afford subscriptions. I know I can't. And I mean, like, I joke about being a kept woman and that I have a social interaction job on the side. But streaming is not cheap. Like, it is not cheap, you know, like, I have, like, I'm blessed with the people that I have subscribing because, like, you know what, it does help. Like, I get new equipment to replace my old stuff. So it makes it smoother and easier and less frustrating to do what I do on Twitch. On the other hand, like, I also understand what it feels like paycheck to paycheck because I don't use the money that I get from Twitch for anything other than things that I can bring towards stream at the moment because I can't afford that. Like, if I could, I would. Like, I would be subscribing to every single person that I see that I enjoy their content. But that's not the case. You know, like, I still have my internet, my electricity and hydro, I have my rent, I have phone bills, like I have a student loan, right? So I understand what you're saying about other people not being able to afford it. It's like it's not just a plight of viewers. You know, streamers have that issue too, but at the same time they have to protect themselves because people can be assholes, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I'm not disparaging against viewers, and I'm not saying that you absolutely have to have a subscription. But like when people get upset about it just being subscriber only, there usually is a reason. People generally don't pay to troll somebody.
Yeah.
They just don't. Like I think that's the thing that I'm trying to say is people don't pay to troll and bully other people. They just don't. They won't put the money into it. That's too much effort.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. So, yeah, one thing that I will be doing as of this year is I will be anyone who is a moderator will have access to a special channel on YouTube that I will be giving every single VOD that will go from like when I start the channel to until I stop doing Twitch will be uploaded on there the day after the stream.
Yeah.
That way, you know, they'll be unlisted, but still it'll be a way for them to get the VOD if they want it. They can download it. They can just record right off the screen. I don't really care. That'd be a way for people, if I would ever get an editor or something like that, you know, or if I need something for myself, you know, that's an easy way to do it versus me trying to download every single video and attempt to have a download thing for that, because that's so much more time. Where exporting is done server by server, downloading is taking my internet, and that takes a while. So,
yeah, it does.
Yeah, so that's something that I'm playing around with, and that's it's an idea for people who I say have editors and stuff like that. I know a lot of them have either a special place on their YouTube that they can go to. You get like a special link, and it's an unlisted video, or some people even have like a group, quote unquote, channel where they all have access to it, and then they just upload as a normal upload, and then through there take that file and download or do whatever they want.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's just one thing. I mean, I didn't want to spark up this whole conversation. You kind of just brought it up and stuff like that, you know. But it's pretty much just kind of, you know, I can see how some people could be, I don't want to say offended by that, but some people could be like, hey, I generally enjoy your stuff, but I don't have $4.99 to subscribe every single month, and through that, I can't watch after your stream. Yeah. And just like with your example with your husband, that makes full sense that, you know, he would probably want to watch you do something eventually, but, you know, he would have to pay.
Considering it, too. He was actually considering subscribing to watch it. I'm like, why? It's literally one video. You don't know when the next one's going to be of me playing Resident Evil. For all you know, it could be next month when your subscription runs out. Yeah. You know, that makes no sense. You're my husband. You should be able to watch this for free. I mean, quite honestly, it depends on what happens in the future. I might switch it back. But in the meantime, it will be open for people to watch. I think it was more specifically after I had someone, actually, no, it was like 2 games in a row. So in Fortnite and in VR chat, people dropped the word that we all don't like. And that kind of TOS'd me, and I kind of got ticked off because I lost VOD for it. I had to delete it. So I decided rather than having to just automatically delete something, I just decided that I was going to switch it to you know, subscriber only, because like then that way, you know, I'm covered. Like I've already said multiple times in the video, I don't agree with that language. So
yeah.
But now, until I decide otherwise, if someone drops that word, I'm just gonna have to delete my VOD, rip my VOD, because those are kind of important.
Yeah, it's a hard fine line that you have to work with for Twitch. And I feel like it's a different story if you're not actively doing something to get rid of that. So if let's say you bring in a friend and he's dropping the M-bomb like no tomorrow and you're not really doing anything about it, that is where I can see people really reporting and stuff. But if it's just some random Joe Schmo that you found in a randoms on Fortnite, if someone starts dropping the word and if you leave the lobby, there's nothing else that you can really do except either mute that person or leave the lobby entirely. And that's something that we as a broadcaster cannot control. And I think Twitch should understand that. So if people even would do that, they have to be very, very, very careful on what they do, because if the streamer drops it, that's their fault.
Yeah, that's their fault.
Somebody
I've also
else does.
Apparently, it's also the streamer's fault too, and I've seen that happen. I mean, I've seen people be banned for the dumbest reasons. They've lost their accounts permanently for something beyond their control, which is absolute bullshit.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, even right now, there is one specific streamer I can think of that said the word, but it was beyond their control. And people actually were, like, petitioning to get them banned. We're not going to say who, because, like, obviously. But, like, should they have said the word? No. But they didn't have control over them saying that word. I'm not going to get into it because, again.
That's a whole other thing.
That's a whole other thing.
That's a whole other thing.
But you have people that will genuinely hear the word and they're already offended. They're already upset. And it doesn't matter if it came from the mouth of the streamer or somebody that's featured in the stream. So that's where I get into protective mode, and I'm going to put my shit on subscriber only.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel like a lot of large streamers are at too, because like I've noticed, like, before, like, ages ago, like, you watch someone like Dr. Disrespect and his chat was open to followers, and now it's open only to subscribers only, which is kind of sucky because, like, I want to be able to converse too, but I can't.
Yeah. So it brings that same feeling, if that makes sense, to where that when you have something into subscriber only, you get a, I don't know why, and it could just be me because I deal with money a lot, but it can sometimes kind of feel greedy that you have it turned on like that. Now, I know for like Dr. Disrespect and like if Tim the Tatman would ever do that, or who else, Dr. Lupo, etc., if they do that, there's probably a damn good reason why they're doing that. And same thing if I'm turning on follower mode for any type of reason. If I'm doing that for a reason, it's probably because we've had a massive trolls and I can't do anything about it, and so I need to clear full chat and turn on follower mode. And that's not because I want people to follow me just to chat. It's legitimately because you need to. And so there's two ways of the spectrum that it can go, and a lot of people are probably going to go the way that I feel a lot is greed. That people are like, hey, if you want to talk to my channel, you got to give up that $4.99 or that Prime sub. And it's like, I can understand that for people who are money hungry, but for people who have logic towards everything like that, subscriber only does make sense for a lot of things. But my thing about the videos, for what I said, I still stand by that 100% though. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? This might be the question, quote unquote, is, I mean, me and Elf, I think, have very much an agreement on if it's turned on, it's on for a legitimate reason. It's not for greed, it's not for anything like that. Yeah. But do you think that people who have subscriber only on, do you think a lot of them do it for greed or for money? Or do you think they have it on for a legitimate reason? Again, some of us will have it for a legitimate reason, but there could be streamers who don't have it. So let us know what you guys think. Do you agree with my points more, where you think it's more greedy for people who don't have the money, even though if it's something out of their control? Or do you agree more with Elf saying that that's a way to cover my ass? So that's always a fun question to talk about, because Twitch is a very interesting talking point, because so many things could be improved very easily that we both immediately agree on. But there are also two different sides to people that people don't ever always look at. So, I mean, there's a side of me that, you know, especially when I became a moderator for somebody, I'm not going to say the name, but the specific individual has subscriber only on for VODs and stuff. And it's like, you want me to take this clip for you while I'm not subscribed. You guys see where it's going with? So it's pretty much just one of those, like, as a moderator, I truthfully wish broadcasters could give moderators a little bit more access, but also keeping it the way it is, where moderators are also mainly just doing chat stuff. But if there is a way to have a subscriber only mode and have, like, let's say, for example, you can have 5 moderators, right? Up to 5 mods access your VODs. I honestly would turn on that shit too, because that would make my life so much easier, and I can be like, I trust you, you guys can access my VODs. I don't really care. You don't have to pay. But for anyone else who does want it, I'm doing this because of saving my ass for the future.
Yeah.
That's just how I would do it. And I think I think Elf agrees with me in that statement, if I'm taking a guess.
Yes, you are taking that correctly. Like, again, it's only mostly to protect my ass. I don't really care about the money. Like, I've been very open with that. Like, the reason the build took so long was because I don't push. Like, I don't push. I don't care to push. I think it goes against my own interest to do that. It also feels greedy to ask for money. So the fact that, you know, I had to put it to subscriber mode, I can understand why it looks greedy, but for me, it's more for protection. If I could have it where my mods could access it without having a subscriber, you bet your ass I would set it to that. Because it protects my ass, and it protects the content which you guys like. You know, nobody wants to see that go away because somebody had to go be a butthole. What you doing, Luigi?
You know, I talk about money a lot, but I have to be honest. I do this only for the money. You know, I only do the Twitch stuff for money because I'm so poor. If people are watching on YouTube, I hope you get the hints of what I'm saying to understand my chat. For people who are watching this audio, I held up a sign that said joke on it because I don't give a shit about the money. But I always make the joke saying that I only stream for the money. And some people out there will probably take that seriously, and that's not serious. You know, again, am I going to say that the money doesn't help? It actually helps a lot. I'm able to buy more games for you guys and buy some stuff. And eventually I would love to do this as a full-time gig. But
I can pay for my internet.
But, you know, it's just like, I'm here. Just enjoy yourselves. Spread your body.
Spread your butthole wide.
And just be like, it's a Luigi. Spread your asshole just like this.
And eat that booty.
Eat that ass.
Like a cantaloupe.
Should I answer my own question I asked you for, like, goals, I guess?
Yes.
So
excuse me.
My goals, honestly, this year is I want to get stuff more scheduled, because I'm kind of tired of having to do it to where I stream for a few days and then randomly will stop for like 7 days and then come back on for a few days streak. Because that makes it really inconsistent for you guys, and I hate that. But my goal, honestly, for this year is I want to branch out to YouTube a little bit more this year. I want to take highlight videos from the streams and make like 20-30 minute highlight videos for you guys. But I also do want to do some exclusive content for YouTube. this being one of the shows exclusive to YouTube and like SoundCloud and stuff like that, because, you know, A, this will bring traction to the YouTube channel, but also B, because YouTube, I think, is a better platform for this, since you're able to do a little bit more with the audio on here. And with that, you know, the Twitch channel is what it is. I'm a Nintendo person. I do Nintendo things. But I would like to do more group streams this year, though. I think last year we kind of did a decent amount, but I really want to have, like what you said, I really want to have a game night every few weeks. Just bring everyone together, everyone stream, we turn off all the numbers and everything like that, we just play games. That's what I want to do this year, and one person is going to probably say no, and I'm going to yell at the person for that, but I will force the individual eventually to be in the games with us.
I mean, let's put it this way. Like, it does help with the moods and shit, because, like, everybody's got their own personal shit. It's great when you get to play with friends. And then it's even better when you can, while playing with your friends, make people feel satisfied watching your content.
True. Because
friends make the best content, I'm not going to lie. It's true. We come up with some weird-ass shit, like toes. Uh-oh. Oh my god, that was great.
Why do you bring it up so much?
Because of your face.
Why do you bring it up so much?
Because it's funny as hell watching your reaction. And that is what we like. That is what I like, and I know my viewers like it. And I'm pretty sure yours like it too.
Until the day
you know it's true, don't lie.
It's just going to be randomly, we're going to have a serious conversation. Toes. And then just the
toe jam.
Toes.
Footsies. Oh, boy.
What the fuck? What?
Oh, God, I don't know.
What's some other ones?
Went straight
Porn.
from feet to puppy play Jesus.
Fetch.
Verucas.
Grab the Marmite from the peanut butter.
Spread it between your toes.
Now we're back to fucking toes. Okay. The snort is real.
The snort game is real. I don't care. Everybody knows I snort when I laugh, especially when I'm sick.
True.
It just happens. I mean, especially when we're talking about a certain anatomy.
True. But some goals for 2020 is I want to release merch drops every few months. For anyone who wants to help support the channel, merchandise is a great way to help. But also, I do want to branch out to YouTube. I actually have a video planned to do probably maybe tomorrow if I don't want to, like, for example, if I don't want to stream or whatever, and if I'm still in the mood to do something, I might just record it instead, and then that way I can make it like a short, condensed version of it. But that, and also, I want to get better at social media. I feel like I'm really garbage at Twitter, and I'm really garbage at Instagram, and Facebook especially, as I never use Facebook, really. I want to get better with those to use them as marketing tools and stuff. So that would be something I'd like to do this year. And I picked up a few more projects I'll be doing, so I'm working with a few other creators as well, too. So you're going to see me in a lot more projects this year, which I'm really happy about. And hopefully one can actually be done live on the show, which I would love to do.
Yes.
I still have to talk to the people in charge of a specific event I'm going to see if I can do that type of thing live, but I would have to, like, ask for some certain things to be,
we get you.
Yeah, that type of stuff. In other words, I don't want no one stealing my ideas. I want the ideas to be mine and mine alone.
Yep.
But that's just pretty much it. I just want to take what I have right now, and, like, if I had to be honest, like, I would like to get at least to another emote slot on the channel. So right now I'm at a certain amount of subs, and then I would like to get to 10 more of those subs so I can get a secondary emote slot, because I think emotes are really, really fun to mess around with. So that's kind of going to be some fun. So we'll we'll play around with that throughout the year.
Yeah.
But I guess the one thing I could say is I want to try to push myself to get to 1,000 followers by the end of the year. Mainly because I like to get an epic creator code. I think I'll play that game a little bit to where it'll make sense for me to have one, but also too that'll also be able to let people who, if anyone would ever want to do anything like sponsors or anything like that, 1,000 followers is a good slow start point that you can get to. So I think that'll be something as a good step for myself to do. So I just want to get my ass into gear this year. I feel like last year I took too many breaks last year. And so this year I want to be a little bit more on the ball. I should really get my ass into gear with streaming and stuff like that. And even if I'm like not in the best mood, and if I'm still able to mentally stream, I need to stream because that really does help out channel analytics. So, because trust me, I had a 5-hour conversation legitimately yesterday about channel analytics and how everything works out and how scheduling works and stuff like that. So that was a very fun meeting to talk to. But it's just those little things that you kind of want to get better at.
Yeah.
And I just want to be able to have fun with friends this year, and hopefully I can build the nest, and maybe this year too we can get together and form some other group or whatever, do something. We'll find something to do together, guys. It's not that hard. We're very easy people to please. So I guess I'll go ahead and say like the last little bit, and then I'll let you kind of have like a minute or so to ramble off like who you are, what you do, blah blah blah. We probably should have done that in the beginning, but I do it differently because fuck yeah.
It's fine. You do you, boo boo. You do you.
I do me.
I mean, who doesn't do them nowadays?
True. With internet, you can figure out the word. Anyways, for anyone who has any questions that you want to ask for the show, starting next episode, I will have a segment at the end of the show called AMA, or Ask Me Anything. So if you have a question for me and for any of the other people in like the call or whatever, we can kind of just do a big question. So if you have a question specifically you want me to answer, you can say like for Luigi and then ask the question. But in general, if you just have a general question to ask, it doesn't have to be super topic related. It doesn't have to be about anything about that week. It can legitimately just be whatever you want. If you have questions about what's your favorite type of soda or blah 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 blah, you're more welcome to ask those questions. So let us know. We'll pick maybe 5 or 10 and we'll have some fun answering questions for you guys. And I'll also make sure to put something in my Discord for podcast topics and also podcast Q&A. Or I will also call it Ask Me Anything, or AMA. So that'll be something I'll be doing as well. And now I'm going to bring some new people in on the podcast scene. So there might be more of these more one-on-one type shows where we're doing this, but we also might have a big group show happen too eventually. So we'll figure everything out. I promise on that.
You saw nothing?
The entire time I was talking, I was glancing at you just because the hands are a little bit wonky when you don't have a Brio, right? A Logitech Brio, so it's like pretty much your hands just like go like this, and it's just.
Well, I mean, I could just do it like that. Oh my god. Oh, if only I could do that.
Oh boy. Alrighty. Well, I think we're gonna end it off here. We just hit a little bit over 2 hours, and we'll cut out some parts too in the middle, so it'll probably be around 2 hours. Elf.
Hi.
I'm gonna give about 2 minutes to you. You can basically blurb whatever you want to talk about or promote or whatever, and then we'll get ready to say bye to everybody. So
Do I really need 2 minutes? Just
you can have as long as you want. I don't really care. You can have 2 minutes, 12 minutes. I don't really care. Just do what you want to do. I'm gonna be quiet for you.
Bye. All right. Well, my name is Go Elf Yourself, also known as Elfie or Elfers. I am a Twitch streamer. You can find me on Twitch at Go Elf Yourself. You can also find me on Twitters, and you can probably find me on Instagram, though I don't post anything on there, as well as YouTube. I am the foul-mouthed elf of the interwebs. I usually enjoy trolling people via voice on Fartnet. I also enjoy things like hanging out on VR chat and playing other games with friends like Luigi and Jeff Bizarro Mom, Love the Clown, etc. Yeah, those are the places you'll normally find me. I am a huge supporter of donating blood, so if you got it in you, it's in you to give. If you can give medically possible, please feel free to check out your local blood bank and give them a donor note, you know? That's all I've got to say. Yes. Was that good?
I like it. Alrighty. Yeah. Well, I guess I'll do my real quick spiel. My name is Luigi. Also, for the entire time of the video of the stream, the video of this podcast or the vodcast, underneath her and underneath me as well, there are nameplates. I've been there the entire time. If you haven't followed her yet, follow her. And also, if you haven't followed me yet, what the hell? Follow me, please.
Start following him, yeah. Freaking Elfin Senpai wannabe. Just kidding. We love you. I don't know.
If I download Face Rig, then we'll talk about that joke.
Wait,
no,
I don't even know.
But anything that is mine is just the Luigi Master 1000. Some things like Twitter and Instagram are Luigi Master 1 because I can't have the extra zeros on the end. But it's Facebook, Luigi Master 1000, YouTube, the Luigi Master 1000. It's the channel that you're on right now, so you should subscribe to my channel. For people who are listening to the audio version of it, please make sure that you are subscribing to the one that has the same picture as my Twitter, Instagram, Facebook profile. So it's the Luigi with like the weird looking face. It is not the one that has the multiple Luigis on it. That shouldn't be an issue by the time this is posted. Sorry about the coughs, guys, again. But it's something I'm dealing with right now with YouTube. And we are getting everything sorted out together so I can get that account closed. It was an old account I had many, many, many years ago. Yeah. And then Discord and everything, all like that, is going to be down below in the description. So you guys are more welcome to join the Discord. I'll let you guys know when videos are being posted and all that fun type of stuff. And if you have any podcast suggestions you want us to talk about, it could be things video game related. It could be related to Twitch. It could be related to YouTube. Anything like that, you're more welcome to bring it in. But we will not accept drama, religion, politics, or anything about like minimum wages rolling up or anything like that. So no money talk as well too. Those are the 4 things I do not want to see in those type of topics, just because they're so one-sided that it's not fun. So please keep those to yourself or find someone who does do that as a podcast type deal. But for us, we just wanna have fun and just talk to everybody. So also, if you have people you want me to bring on the show, let me know and I will get into contact with them. It could be anyone in my community, or if you want another episode just like this one where it's just me and Elf talking about random bullshit, then throw it in. I want you guys to let me know kind of what's going on.
Was it really bullshit though?
I mean, we talk a lot of bullshit. Let's be honest here. A lot of our streams is us talking about
too.
Exactly, and that's the beginning of my second season. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yikes.
Yeah. But all right, that's pretty much all we got. I want to thank you guys so much for listening, watching, commenting, liking, subscribing, following, all that fun type of stuff. I want to thank you guys for being here and sticking out with me. I know this is a different pace than my Twitch streams. And for YouTube and for everything else, I'm only going to be cutting the parts out that I think I really need to, or bleeping things I need to. But I'm going to try to leave this as raw as possible for everybody to give you guys the true Elf, the true Luigi, you know, who we are outside of the camera and stuff like that. Because we are different people when we are not in front of a camera and stuff like that. And I think this allows us to be that person. We don't have to be all, oh my gosh, guys, how are you? You know, we can be more relaxed, chilled out, and talking about things that we really want to talk about. So that's what makes this podcast amazing. And you guys out there have made this happen in many ways possible. So thank you. And Elf, thank you for joining. Am I looking the right way? Yes, Sam. Thank you. Thank you for joining the first episode. This was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. And thank you so much for being an awesome senpai. You are amazing. And again, if you guys aren't following him, what the fuck are you doing with your life?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Please follow him. Give him a follow. Give him a like. Give him a subscription or two. You know, just punch him in the love cooter, you know? Right?
All those noises. That's the trick of so many people. Oh, boy. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching and everything like that. Right now, if you're watching on YouTube, you should be seeing a thing on there with a subscribe button in the middle and 2 videos on your left and right. One of them is a YouTube recommended video, and the other one is the video that I would have out on my channel that I pick for you guys. So thank you guys all so much for watching and subscribing, liking, following, all that fun type of shit like I said earlier. My name is Luigi, and that's Elf.
Hi! Bye!
Hi and bye. Fancy. And we'll see you guys soon. Bye!
See you later! Bye!